Welcome back to the free website course, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pritam, and I hope that you have already seen the entire video of how we created this homepage of this consulting firm website step by step from scratch. Because in this video, I'm going to create the About Us section right from scratch, and I'll be showcasing you how to create this kind of complex yet simple layout. I'll be showing you how to create this kind of card effects. At the same time, how can you create this kind of value system and then add kinds of graphics, and then how to have your team section like this where we can showcase all the team members, the founding members, with their details, what they do, and their social media icons. I'll be also showcasing you how to import sections from previously done pages, and at the same time I'll be showcasing you how to create this kind of complex yet beautiful layouts in Go High Level, right? So ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you have watched already the first part and the second part. In case you have not yet watched the first part and the second part, then the links are in the description below, so make sure you watch them first. And once you have completed the first part and the second part, which is the mobile optimization mode, right, you can come back to this page where I'm going to showcasing you how to create the about section, right? So this is the part 3 of the free website course. Let's dive in. Okay, so few things that you will be need to considering is you will be able to see that how I'm going to change the the top section here, because as you can see the top navigation bar has a background color of the maroon. However, in this it's totally white. I've also changed the logo a bit in order to make it look beautiful with the white background, right? I'll be also creating duplicates and importing them. For example, this contact us session, right? I'm going to be duplicating this from the from the previous homepage, which is already here, right? Something like this. And I'm going to be adding it to our new page, right? And then I'll also be showcasing you how to create something called as a global section, because when you change anything in the global section, in one page it gets automatically changed on other pages, right? Sounds very interesting, and it is actually indeed. So I'm going to showcasing you everything in brief, right? So sit back and relax and see how I do it. Okay, so first things first, we're going to create a new page, and the new page will be called as about page, right? So this is going to be the about page. The path is going to be about. Path basically means whenever you write, let's say pritam.com/home, right? So that slash home is what we call as path. So in this case, the path is going to be about. I'm going to create a new page, a brand new page, okay? But in this tutorial, we're also going to leverage a lot of it from our previous landing page, okay? What I can do is, there are multiple ways of doing it, right? So what I can do is I can create from scratch, or I can, basically duplicate the entire page and then get started. But for this tutorial sake, I'm going to create from blank and show it to you again. So I'm creating this entire page from blank, and I'm going to take a few details from the home page. I'll just show it to you. Okay. So this is the page that we are going to do. We'll keep this page as a reference, and then we will be working on the new page. So let's give it some time that till it loads. Awesome, guys. So the new page has loaded now. This is brand new. As you can see, this is in the about page. There are currently uh, as you can see here, home page and about page. So I'm currently on the about page. I'm going to first have the full width section, of course. As you know, you must have already followed to the first two pages that we created, or the first page and the mobile optimized page, right? So here I want the branding to be a bit whitish. I do not want, so for example, this is the first home page we created, and the branding here is kind of a dark, right? The top section is entirely dark, and we want to have something on lighter note. Can we have it? The answer is yes and no. You cannot use the same section and create a global section around it, because if we do that, in that case the background here will have to be same. So in case if you use the same entire section as a global section, then the color, whatever the color is, going to be constant across wherever that you have used that's the particular section. I hope I'm clear. If not, I'm just going to show you that what exactly can happen. So for this case, just to make things easy and simple, I'm going to just duplicate this so that I don't have to put in a lot of effort, but I'm going to keep it as a template, not as a global section. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back onto the new builder, which I'm already in, and you can see this is the home page. So I'm going to click on this icon called as save section. Okay. So I'm going to click on that. Okay. So I clicked on that and let's call it consult row nav bar. Okay. And I'm going to add this not to the global section because the color will be changed. So I'm going to add it as a template. Now I'm going to save this. Okay. So this is now saved as a CP navbar template. Now what I need to do here is I need to first save this. Okay. So once I've saved the entire page, I'm now going to go to the new page and then revise it. So I've saved it. So this section is now saved as a template. I'm going to go back here to the new page and I'm going to just reload the entire page. Okay. So as I'm reloading the entire page, what's happening is whatever changes I've made is now inside your Go High Level account will now also be reflected on the refreshed page. So now here we are only going to use a template instead of using it as a global section, right? Because as I told you, all the properties of a global section will remain the same since this is global. And since we have two contrasting colors, we cannot use a global section, okay? Otherwise, we have to keep the colors as same, okay, which we do not want, of course. So we will click on section templates, and then here you have something called a CP navbar. Can you see? Right. So we're going to grab that once again, and we're going to drag that. Okay. So now here what happened is, since we created this as a new page, all the extra changes that we did, for example, the background color was not supposed to be as a default color, right? This is something that we did in addition. So all those colors will now be removed. So what happened here is all those colors were actually removed, right? So that's okay. What we were going to do is, because we anyway wanted to keep it that way, first of all, this is desktop only. So I'm just going to put forward, go to advanced section and make it mobile also. Then what I'm going to do is, this is the background color of the button, because as you can see, this is the button. So I'm just going to, and here also on the reference page, we have that button in the same color. So we're just going to go ahead and border color is there. Also, I'm going to keep the background color same. Okay, perfect. So we got that. What else do we need? We need to showcase the text also. So the text here needs to be black, right? As you can see now, you can see the text. However, on hover of these text, it should turn to red, right? So hover text color is, again, as you can see, there is no text color because it is a new page. So I'm going to add that color. So whenever you hover on this, the color changes. Okay. Now again, as you can see, you cannot really see the logo, and the reason for that is because here the logo was white and it was contrasting in the background color. Now I'll use the same logo, but I'll just change the branding and where the branding is placed. So I'm just going to grab a new logo here and I'm going to add that new logo. Okay. So I already have that new logo here. And see, I'm just using the same logo with the same branding, but the color combination is a bit different just to make sure that it's visible on both light screen and darker screen. This is a question that I normally get from a lot of my clients, right? And they normally only have one color logo, which is not great. The reason for this is because the branding remains the same, the color of the logo also remains the same, but in cases like these, for example, this is a darker color, right? Or let's say on the footer section, right? As you can see here, you also have a logo here. So in these cases, you need to have something in the whiter tone, right? If you do not have colors in complete white, or let's say on a light shade, what you can do is you can ask your logo designer to give you a complete plain white logo, which basically means the logo and its form will be intact, but all the colors will be white. Those kind of logos are super important for dark screens, right? And also for the footer section, which are normally darker. So in those cases, you can always add that look, right? So make sure whenever you create a or get a logo, always get a whiter version as well, apart from the colorful version. Okay. So that's there. Now what we need to do is we already got what we wanted. Let's make sure it is also mobile optimized. Okay, it's not mobile optimized, and we will make it mobile optimized. So let's not worry about that. Let's proceed creating the desktop version as soon as possible, and then we're going to make it 110% mobile optimized. Okay. I hope that you're liking my videos. If you do, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and share it with someone who may need it, because a lot of people I know are looking for great tutorials on Go Higher Level, especially in the funnel builder. So I just want to do my part to be part of this amazing community. Thank you so much, and just keep watching on how I do it, so that I hope that you can do it as well. And I'm sure you will be able to do it watching my tutorials, right? So I'm going to use 64 pop-ins here. So this is going to be 64, right? And I'm going to make it left aligned. Whoa. So that's fine. I'm going to add this paragraph text. Now this is a template that I'm creating, because I'm creating a template library, guys, which basically means that you can literally buy templates from me. We already have a done for you service where we custom design projects, and you can actually get the link in the description, or you can also email me or just visit PritamBhadra.com, and you will be able to see the projects that we have did for our clients, which is more than 150 plus projects. And if you just, this is a very long page, so you just keep dragging down, you will be able to see our work, our clients, and we have tons of clients across the world. So yeah, but I'm also planning to create some templates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create these templates and then give it away at a very nominal cost compared to our custom design projects, which I believe, because last 2 years I got a lot of queries which I couldn't fulfill because I never had templates. So that's going to be one of my important parts here. And you, my learners, my students, are going to be important part in terms of learning and creating your own business, your own, and improving your own skills, right? I've also been in the last video getting a lot of last two videos getting a lot of good comments. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate those comments coming in my videos, because I'll be creating more of these kind of videos, and I hope that you will definitely love them. Okay, so enough of talking. Let's come back. So we've created this section roughly, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically duplicate the entire thing. Now when you learn from me, you not only learn because I am going to sell you something. You learn from me because I am an expert, which have and have been working with Go High Level from last 3 years, and have personally built so many custom design projects. So I know the way and the trick that you need to follow, and you probably don't have to spend 3 years into Go High Level Builder. You'll probably spending 3 months and be as good as me. I hope so, and I pray so, right? So you will not be creating this section again, right? What you will be doing it, you will be duplicating the first section, and then you will be using these arrows in order to swipe down, right, these columns. Okay, just the way I did. Okay, so these contents are anywhere there. So what I'm going to do, this is our services. So there's also one our services page, which I will not include in this tutorial, but yeah, that's also you can add as part of your website. Okay, so now I'm going to add a before photos. Again, I am basically turning off image optimization, is because if you do not turn off image optimization, what Go High Level is going to do is it's going to take that image which you have given, which provided or uploaded on your page, then it's going to reduce the quality, and that will actually make it look pixelated. Okay, rather than that, what you should be doing is you should be going to, I think I've already told this, but I'll show it to you again. You should be going to compress.png.com, and when you go to compress.png.com, you can actually upload your PNG files. If you have JPEG files, then you can go to JPEG section here and then upload your JPEG files, and then you compress them and then download them. So you're already optimizing on your end, and you don't need Go High Level's help, even though they are a great team. But you're just doing your own bit to make the landing page better, and in this way you will basically retain all the quality of that image. Okay, it's super important to learn, because web development and web designing is different than graphic designing. Okay, So I already have this image. The thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these spaces because I don't like them anyway. So I'm just going to make it like 0, 0, 0. And yeah, guys, I just crossed 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Really thankful for what you guys have been supporting me. Thank you so much for all the comments, all the likes, and everything. I really appreciate it. Right. I hope that I'm able to bring you a lot of value in terms of learning this, and I hope that we get to meet one day soon in the Go High Level Summit. Okay, I'm going to plan to come to the Go High Level Summit. Let's see when, but definitely we are going to meet it, and then we're going to talk about funnels and landing pages, right? Okay, cool. I think we already got what we wanted here, and we have almost completed our section. Awesome. So if you see now that we have already completed the first section in no time, and the reason for this is because we only build one particular row column, and then we duplicated it, and we then used our tricks or hacks in order to do it in the very less time. Right. Let's proceed forward and let's do this section. This is going to be a card section. Right. I already have something called as cards like these. I can copy this, but let's do it on your own. I'm going to show it to you, and it's going to be a revision as well for you guys. Okay. So this is basically a three column or one row, three column structure where I have used particular spacing and alignments in order to create this kind of card effects. Okay. So the way to do it is that you create a new section. You can also continue on that, but I had to create a new section. Let me take myself on top here. Hi guys. So here I'm going to create a three column row. In this three column row, I'm going to work everything in the column wise. Okay. I'm not going to touch the column, the row, right? So this one row I'm not going to touch. I'm not going to do anything inside it. I'm going to basically target the columns. Okay. So I'm going to target the column and then I'm going to add all its colors. So I won't have that color. So I'm just going to use my extension, which is called as color pick eye drop, and then I'm going to take the hex code of it. So literally on any website you can literally go ahead and take the hex code without you having to guess whether that I know what the hex code over the color is. Okay, so you literally copy paste the hex code, and then you go to the yellow section and get the yellow hex code. Okay, then you go back and then you copy paste and you create your own custom color again. So you do this, and then you have the yellow as well. Now it's time for the blue one, and you have the blue one now as well. So now you're going to have the blue as well, which is freaking amazing. Awesome, guys. So what we need to do here is we'll go to advanced section by clicking the first column here, then go to advanced, then click on no borders to full borders. Make sure the pixel is 1 and make it transparent, right? Then come to the border radius and make sure that it's all at least 15 pixels, and then make sure that it is all edges. Do the same for the next two columns as well. So full border, 1 pixel. All right. Somebody also commented that they find it very amusing that I'm able to navigate it so swiftly. And the reason for this is because you're working on this builder from last 3 years. And yeah, I mean, when you work on this, when you work on something from last 3 years, every single day, you tend to become really good at it. So I won't really blame the builder. So if you just it's all about getting habituated with the environment. So if you get habituated with it, you will also find it easy enough to use it. And I really like the Go High Level bit. A lot of people say, "Hey, you cannot build funnels and website, not funnels, basically websites like Webflow and all of that," which is true. But you can achieve a lot actually. It's almost 90% what you can do in Go High Level that you can do in other platforms too. But yeah, 10% is different, which I understand, and I believe it just Go High Level. It's going to take some time to improve it. But anyways, what we're going to do here is we're going to add 20 pixel of margin because we want this spacing here. Do you see the spacing? We want this spacing here, which is not here. So I'm going to add the spacing. I'm going to also select the third column and add a 20 pixel spacing here. Okay. I also want to add some shadow here. So just want to click on the first column. Basically, I'll be clicking on each column and then add something called as box shadow. Right. So box shadow literally gives you some shadows. Shadows are important because these are shadows are going to help your elements or images and all of that going to have some 3D effect. which basically means it's going to have some depth effect, right? So that's going to make your landing pages look better, right? So now what we want is we want to have these kind of texts here, right? So here in this element, I'm going to add a headline, and then I'm going to add the headline which I just copied from the reference page. You might have copy ready, you might not have copy ready, so that depends on how you want it. We actually do copywriting for our clients as well, because we literally, like, we have been doing this from last 2 years, and what we realized is we know where exactly the copy need to go. Awesome. So what we're doing is now here is just want to grab the heading and the subheading here, right? And we just want to make sure that we duplicate everything that we can find and just sort things out, right? It just to make the process easy. That's it, right? And we want this text, which is 190 plus. What we're going to do here is just going to duplicate the headline, and then we are going to make the headline as 190 plus. And then we're going to now, as we have all the text, we're going to play with something called as text alignment, as you can see here, and as well as spacing. Okay, so the first do for the home, basically the headline and the subheadline, they are perfect. uh, However, the number is not perfect, so I'm going to make it completely right aligned, and I'm probably going to make it 72 in order for the size. Probably not 72, let's make it like 62. I think 62 should be good. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I want to play with spacing. So I just want to add like 20 pixel spacing to this, and or let's say 40 pixel. Right. I'm also going to add a side padding of 20 pixel, because I want it to be like kind of not too much at the left side. I want to have some spacing around it so it looks kind of, it has some cushion to it. You know what I mean? So, and this number I'm going to add here, let's say 20 pixel again. I want to make it uniform. However, as you can see in this page, it has some spacing within this as well. So I'm going to add around 40 pixel or 60 pixel of spacing in there. Okay. I'm also going to add some bottom pixels as well, which is going to be around 40 pixel. Okay, I believe this now looks very nice. I just want to change the color of this boldness from black to red. Okay, and I think that this looks perfectly fine the way it should be looking here in this page. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to basically, because I've already wasted a lot of time into this, what I do, I'll just copy it. I'll just copy it, right? So I already have all the changes that I need to apply. Instead of doing everything again and again or dropping things or dragging things, I will just duplicate things and I'll just take my things done at the faster speed, right? That's what differentiates you from others, is how fast and what is the hack that you can apply, which is going to get the job done, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy text and I'm going to paste text, right? And then, so sustainable growth, revenue growth, that is fine. I'm going to give you all the growth. I'm going to make it 160 million. This is going to be 160 M, right? The company is going to be growing businesses, right? Then this is also going to be the subheading, which is fine. I'm going to add it here. For some reason I do not know, when I copy and paste it, it literally adds this like a kind of a line space to it. I'm not sure why, but whatever it is, let it be. Yeah, the colors aren't changed, so I'm just going to change the colors. I want to make sure that I already have it already, so I just want to add it there. Okay, I think we already got done with the second section as well, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to have this kind of section, okay? And I'm going to show you that how you can have this part or these texts stick to the top even though you have such a long text in here, okay? I'm also going to show you what element I use, to have something like this, where you have, one image here and the text here within a column, within a two row column, okay? Or the one row, two column, okay? So I'm going to show you that as well. Let's just duplicate the space. Just have add columns here. Okay, so now I'm going to have a one row, two column structure, which is basically going to mean this element, right? Now here I'm going to have these texts. So I'm going to zoom past adding these text here. Just give me some time. I want to make sure these texts are of the same size. So I want to use the font extension, which is like 18. So I want to make it 18. I also want to make sure that all my fonts are in Poppins, because that's what I'm using for this one. As you can see, if you click on this T, then it's typography. It's coming as here. And here, as you can see, the headlight font is Montserrat. I don't want Montserrat, I want Poppins. So I'm just going to click here and write Poppins, right? And then everything changed because I just used Poppins. And here also, let's say I'll just choose Poppins. I think then we are good to go, right? So, when you change on the header section here, literally it is now applied to the entire website. So that's how you can literally, just change one thing and it can apply to the entire website, which is freaking amazing. Here, I'm just going to make sure that the bold text here is of the red color and is also left aligned because all our texts are left aligned here, right? I'm also going to grab this as our heading. So I'm just going to go there in insure form. I'm going to duplicate this and then I'm going to have it as a zero padding structure. Okay. Uh, our founder. Okay, so after our there's a space. It's the next line basically. So let's not change that. Let's have it 10 pixels of spacing, and then we also have a button, which is pretty easy to add because I already have a button, so I won't be using any of my effort and just dragging and copying things, which is what you should also do when you are creating big sites like me. Okay, so we are done here in this part. Now we want this column to be entertained. So now I'm going to just copy this and drag it here. I'm going to click and save, right? And then, okay, this definitely is not the same size of text, right? This is going to be 28 pixels. And here, as you can see, this is 32. So I'm just going to add it at 28. And then I'm going to add these text, which is basically mean you can write about your business, right? So I'm not adding any kind of text here by my own in terms of copy, but you can obviously add it when you think that this is important, which of course it is, right? So as you can see that all of these texts have like 10 pixels or 20 pixels of padding is because I'm literally duplicating this and they already have these kind of spacing around 20 pixels, right? So we just want to make sure that they are zero. When we don't need them, we make them zero, right? And we also make sure that this is at least 18, right? So that it suits. And then we also, after some space, we have this line also called as an element in Go High Level as divider. So we're going to click on an element, and then as you can see, if you go to the bottom, you would be able to see something called as divider. So I'm just going to add the divider here. Okay. Cool guys. So I added a divider here and I'm just going to add some spacing on the divider so that, we can maintain some spacing in there. And here also, let's make it 16 only. And then let's have some spacing as well on top. So 10, let's make it 20. And so here also, instead of 20, 20 is fine. Let's say, let's proceed forward to have what the CEO has to say. So this text is basically what the CEO is saying, right? I'm basically going to copy the headline here and they drag this down and then add the heading, add what the CEO has to say. I know that this is a bit big, so I'm just going to grab the font and it's going to be 20 pixels. Now, it's okay to use different kind of fonts on the website because the requirements are different. So feel free to use them, no grudges there, right? And I want to create something as well as I can have an image here and then I can also have a text here, right? So the way to create is something called as feature image or image feature. So as you can see, this is called as image feature. So I'm going to drag and drop that. This basically allows you to have an image on the left hand side or right hand side. You can swipe them and then you can have something like as an heading and then subheading. Okay. So I just want to have the image as the CEO itself because I want to showcase him saying something about the company and that's what I want to show. And I guess this is the best image to show for, right? I'm just going to grab the name as well, Stephen Dunn. Again, awesome. Okay, awesome. Just want to make sure that it's bold, and then I'm going to also add the position, which is CEO and co-founder. And here you go. oops, added that. Now this kind of looks a bit on the top. You can keep it this way if you want to. I mean, basically, it's actually up to you how do you want it. Um, let's first add some padding to it. Okay, so you can keep it like this when the text is actually on the top, or you can also what you basically do is add a line here and you can have it at the center line. It's up to you how do you want it, but let's keep it on the top. I think that's also fine. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's how we create the second section. But as you can see, the way we created this entire thing, since as I told you in the last video, or I guess last to last video, the first video of this course, that the column is going to accumulate or have, I mean, so let's say there are two columns here, right? So whatever the length of the highest column is, so this is the length, this is the highest column length, right? Because this has most of the text, right? So the other column, which is on the same row, is going to acquire the same height itself, okay? Which basically means that even without adding any space, it is making its own space because it's trying to adjust or stretch to its parallel column, which has the highest space. That's how it is designed. So it actually gives importance to the highest column which is present. Okay, so what you can do in this case is you can basically select this entire first column and then go to column content spacing of the column layout. As you can see, there's something called as column layout, and then you at the middle you have something called as content spacing. Here it is at center, make it left. The moment you make it left, it actually goes until the top, right? So all the text remains on the top. There is a 10 pixel padding here, which I'm going to make sure it's 0, so that the entire content on both the columns are on an equal or the same level, right? That gives you uniformity to be able to, make things looks good because it is more soothing to the eyes. One more thing that you can do to these texts is there's something called as equalizer, which basically means in text alignment you can have left, right, central line, and this is equalizer, or sorry, it is called justifier, right? Yes, it's called justifier. Sorry, I forgot. So if you add justifier, then it actually adds some spacing in the text based on the spacing available, and then it makes the left hand side and the right hand side both aligned without any kind of space on the right hand side, which basically makes it looks good. So I like the structure, so I normally use it. Right, up to you whether you want to use it or not. As you can see, this is basically also you see this in magazines and on newspapers, right? So the left and right and the left hand side and the right hand side looks very aligned instead of having, abrupt spacing on the right, because the spacing is actually added in between by the system or the software which are using it. Okay. Now this section is also done. I want to show you how to create this section. This is a very interesting section though, because I'm going to create and again, I'm going to duplicate fewer things, but this section I'm going to create from scratch. So let's start creating one more section here. So you're going to get the full width. So once you have the full width, you're going to have the background color as that yellow. And then you want to have a 2-column row structure. The reason for that is in 1-column row, you want to have these text, and the other you want to have this tiny sweet button, right? So here, what you want to do is you want to just duplicate this entire thing. So here, what I want to is I want to make it right aligned so that I can have, so that I do not have to go very up in order to drag the text. I'm just being lazy here, so I'm just going to drag it here. It's just so easy. Instead of dragging it from the top, I can literally do anything with it. And if I want some text like this, I can just add a text like this, which I can later drag to this. Okay, so that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just going to make it go on the top again, which is just making it left aligned. So again, it's gone to the top. Now here it's about the value system. So I'm going to copy and paste this as the value system. And then I'm just going to make sure that all the text are aligned to what we normally should have, right? So I just want to make sure that I am keeping the font, uh, you know, the way it should be, which is it's not, of course, it's going to be 50. And the text here is also not that much. So just want to make sure that the text is also the same. Right. So we got this right. However, as you can see here, that the button is actually, it's actually sticking to the bottom on the right hand side, right? So it's kind of so the way to do it is, first of all, you need to make it right align. Okay. Mm, Select the button, right? Make it right align by going to the button alignment, and then select the column and then content spacing, make it right. Then it sticks to the bottom. Okay, I hope it's working now. Okay, so it sticks to the bottom, even if you add, even if you keep adding content to it, right? For example, as you can see here, I'm adding a lot of content to it, but still it is going to stick to the bottom. Okay, that's how you can make those changes. I hope you remember all these nuggets, because it's going to help you a lot when you kind of want to design different kinds of, layouts and structures of your own. Okay, I hope that this was helpful to you. Now I'm going to proceed forward to create this kind of a column structure, which is not a great deal. The way to do it is very simple, that I need to have a one row, three column structure. Sorry, I don't need this. It was a mistake. Oh, let me show you in case you do a mistake. For example, I want a three column structure, but by mistake, I added only two column. You can save your time by not deleting it and going back. The simplest way to do is just go to the column. As you can see, there's something called as duplicate it. You now have a three column structure. It's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. Need not be making things complicated when they are not. Okay. So here also we are kind of following the same structure, which basically means that we are going to have a background which is white. We want to have an image here. Let me add that image. Okay, I'll add that image after some time. Let me just make it 70 pixels, right? And make it left aligned. And then I have some text here, which is accountability, and then some more text. So I just want to have that text, the text here, make it left aligned. I probably want to make it like 32, right? And then I also want to have a few line of text here, right? So that's going to be, now I will make this column as, first of all, vertical content spacing is going to be left aligned. Then I'm going to add some padding, which is going to be 20 pixels. 20 pixels, and then 20 pixel on the left hand side padding. Now what I want to do here is I want to make it, I think it's good, but I want to have some spacing on the top. So the way to do it is just add 20 pixels padding on it. I also want to have some spacing at the bottom, so just add 20 pixel on it. And I believe we are good to go to do this. Let's add the images and see how it's going to look. Okay, so let's add the image. So you go to image here, right? And you just drag and drop any image you want to. Okay, it's going to take some time. I don't know why. Let me get back. Okay, I want to show this. So I was not able to add the image, and then it showed something, an error, like something like this. Error while creating the page. Okay. So this can actually is very scary, because if you say okay and then you try to save it, then you're going to keep giving you this error. And then if you try to refresh this, then all your work will be gone. I do not like my hard work to be gone, and I've actually did this mistake a lot of times. And from my experience, I can tell you that the easiest way to do this is duplicate this entire thing. So duplicate this entire tab. Since this gets duplicated, then you will be able to save the original tab here, and then you can basically do your own thing. Okay, so let's give it some time, and I'll show it to you how this works. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. That was actually my internet issue, but I believe that you're able to hear me properly, right? And you can see the screen. So now I believe I can be able to save this. So let me just do it. This should work now. Okay, cool. So that was just an internet issue. Let me remove that, and let's proceed with what we're doing. Okay. So the image here is going to be added, right? So we're going to grab that image, which is basically this icon, right? And accountability, right? And we also want to have some kind of spacing from accountability to that icon. Okay, we probably do not want it that big, like 60 will be fine, and then we want some spacing to it as well. So let's make it like a 20 pixel spacing. I think that should be more than enough. uh, I believe that is good. Let me see the text here to be able to understand its size. 16 pixels, I'm not sure. Where am I? I'm also at 16 pixels. So I believe we are just good. We are good here, right? So we're going to borders, we're going to full borders, and here I'm going to make sure that the border here is of same color, but the border radius is of 15. And then this also has some kind of box shadow of 10 pixels. Sorry, of 10%. Okay. Now I just want to duplicate the entire thing, duplicate it 3 times to make sure that I get the alignment spaces. Here I'll also change the graphics here, which you can see this is blue, this is yellow, and this says team, that says innovation. So I'm just going to add that, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to just change that image, right? That is going to be the blue icon there. So this is the blue icon, and this is going to be the yellow icon. Let's go ahead and proceed to add the yellow icon as well. So we just added the yellow icon as well. I just want to add the text as well as innovation. So yeah, we just added the innovation too. So now what you need to do is you need to just delete these paragraphs. Okay. Now since you deleted them, they kind of look like not what we wanted here, right? We had a different story. This has a different alignment, and these two are a separately different alignment. So what we need to do here is we need to add a lot of spacing to it. So it's already at 40, so I'm going to add like 80, right? I think 80 should work. And here also I'm going to add like 80. Sorry, that made 20 and now 80. Okay. So now I believe this looks much better and much simpler to understand. I also want to make sure that I have some kind of margin which is left aligned, because that's going to make it separate from each other. So that's how, ladies and gentlemen, you create these kind of structures. I hope that you're able to understand that. Even though we use the same row and 3 columns, we're able to achieve these 3 kind of different alignments. Okay. Now we will be doing the same thing for this commitment, transparency, and ownership. Let me just grab the text already. So now instead of doing everything again, I'm going to just copy it. And once I've copied it, I am going to make sure that this goes to the left. Oops, it just went up. It should went down. Right. I'll just make it go on the right and on the right. Okay. Now, because if you remember, this teamwork was here, it already had some space aligned to it, and the space was given by this column, not by this column or this column, right? The space was given by this column. So when we shifted this to the left, it retained that 20 pixel of spacing. I just want to show you here that this still has 20 pixels, which we do not need it because this is the left hand side. So it's adjusted now. Now here it's going to be of 20 pixel there. Okay. So this is going to be 20 pixel there. And we're going to change it to commitment. Commitment is going to be the text here. So we just now want to change the graphic, and that should be it. Okay. So we proceed forward and change the graphic there. That's added. Now we have our transparency. With magnifying glass, then we have ownership. Right. We also want to add ownership, which is the magnifying glass. But one thing I notice is in this is pretty down, but this is not really down. So I just want to make sure that this is more than 80 pixels. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add like 120 pixels, right? I think 120 pixels is the best option. So I'm going to go to each one, and then instead of 80, I'm just going to add 120 pixels. That just makes it look proper, right? So that's how you make things much more aligned or much more spaced, because where this teamwork starts, right, that's exactly where this section ends. Okay, so we just want to make sure that we keep that in mind so that it looks a bit organized. Now we go to ownership, and we also now add the ownership here. Let's keep the text because we don't want to change that. Rather, we will just change the image, and that should be pretty much it about this hectic section, which took us a lot of time as well. So we just want to add that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we just added and completed our value system section. We will just proceed forward to create more sections as we, you know, so this is a bit complex, but I'm going to show you how to deal with it. This is called the team section, right? And then we're going to show how to do this, and then our office, and then this one as well, right? It's going to be easy. Do not freak about it. It's going to be a long tutorial, but that's okay. If you follow along, you will be able to learn a lot from these kind of tutorials and in-depth tutorials mainly. Okay. So now what you need to do here is you need to proceed forward and then add all the text here that you're supposed to. So this is going to be our team. I'm going to copy that. I just want to drag that because I want that text. Right. So I'm going to add a one column and then I'm going to add that text which I just dragged from the top. Same goes for the heading. I believe they also have a subheading, but yeah, for this video, let's not add the subheading. That's not required anyway. So we'll just add it here. And I'm going to make sure that we have the same text. So team sector text is also added here. Now I want to make it central lined. So once that is done, I want to have all the members of the team being added here. Okay. So for this case, we've added 4 team members, and we also need spacing for their introduction, their details, their position, right, and also their social media. Okay. So what we want to do is I just want to take the name. Okay. Now I want to create. If you go to the bottom, as you can see, I want to create a 4 column structure. In the four column structure, the first one is also always going to be the image. Same is going to be the other ones as well. But here, the main work is going to be on these texts. Okay. So we want to grab these heading here once more, and then we want to add this here. But we want to just add the name, and we probably do not want 50 at all. What we want here is, let me just grab it and take a look at the font size, which is 28. I was thinking it was 32, but 28 is the right one. And then what I want to do is I want to add the name to them, or they put their uh, position. So I just want to add that. I want to make sure that this is definitely not bolded. Let me also get a grab it regarding their sizing. That's going to be almost 20 pixels. I think that's fine. 20 pixel is still fine. And then we want to have something about the description. So this is going to be about them, a bit about their story and all of that is going to be good enough. So I just want to drag that. So again, as you can see, I dragged it from the top. It had some spacing already, so I do not want that spacing at all on the left hand side. Now comes social media platforms. So since this is in consulting firms, the major 3 social media platforms are going to be, even you've included Instagram, but it's not required, but you can add it depending on whatever you want to add. The best way is to add the social media icons uh, element. Okay, you can see social icons here. You just want to grab and add it here. Now, as you can see here, go to themes, right? You will be able to see different kinds of themes. Some are colorful, some are not. I want to add something like, let me see. I want to add the original ones like these, right? And then I assume that they are consulting firms, so that they do not want to show their TikTok, right? I also don't think these are YouTubers, so I'm just going to remove them as well. Probably not show their Facebook too, right? So I'm left with these 3, and what I want to do is I want to add them like 20 pixels, right? And then 20 pixels there. Now, what I want to do here is I want to make this only icon because I can understand by looking at the icon. I also want to make it left aligned. I go to advanced, right? You can see there's a padding here, so I want to make it 0. The reason for this is very simple. I do not want much spacing around anything, right? I want to control my own spacing rather than the default ones for sure, right? So this is again going to be 0. Okay. So now we literally have everything left aligned. Okay, this is again a visibility on desktop and mobile mode both. So let's make this how much is it? It's 16. That's fine. I want to have some kind of spacing between the name and the designation. So let's say I add 10 pixels there. Now I want to add the photo and let me see how it looks. Okay. So we need to test things, right? It cannot be exactly correct 100% on the same attempt. So let's test and see how it looks. Okay. I think this looks pretty fine. I think this also, okay, let's make the photo a bit bigger by reducing the spacing there because we will add our own spacing, guys. Okay, so do not worry about that. So what I want to do here is I want to select the column where all the texts are, and then I want to add a 20 pixel spacing on it. Okay, 10 pixels are fine. Okay. So now as you can see here, we literally have everything that we were supposed to have. We want to also change the color of the text. I don't want this black. I only want black on the name. I don't want anything else as black. I want it to be a grayish color. Okay. So just added a grayish color there. Same goes for the subheading. I want to add that grayish color, right? So that it kind of, looks similar to the icon as well. So I think that's pretty much it. We did successfully. We have managed to get that done. So now we are going to add this image as well. And we want to make sure that this is separated from the, so what we basically want to showcase is this image and this text belongs to each other. They are clubbed together. And the best way to define that is by spacing. So for example, if I just make it like this and then add text on the right hand side, for example, if I just do this and then probably do this, I might not be able to understand which text is where. I probably might think that this text is for this person. I mean, I don't know, right? But if I do something like this and I add like 40% margin or 60% margin, then you can understand that the spacing in here is a lot. So there is a complete wide separation between these two. So this text is definitely going to belong to this person, and this text is going to definitely belong to this person. And these are some of the principles of UI, which is what I'm teaching you practically. I hope that this definitely helps you, right? So this, instead of making it 40, 60, I just want to make it like less. I think 40 is fine, right? So I'll just change the photo here and I'll add, I think there's a girl there. So I just want to add the girl there. Cool. So we added the girl as well. I want to make sure that I get all her name correct. By the way, as you know, this is center aligned. So this is coming as center because you can always make it top aligned. So that's an option you already have. If you want to do it, please feel free to do it. You are free to change anything that you want as per your own, you know, your own layouts, right? Again, you must be thinking how to design these layouts. So layouts are something that you should be just doing as the first task itself, because that's what determines, right, how things are going to look. You cannot justify that while doing it. Rather, it should be done at first. What I'm showcasing you is just the execution part. But before this, you have to do layout, you have to do brand strategy, you have to understand their market, you have to do market research, you have to understand customer avatar, you have to do designing, you have to create all the designing elements, and then after doing everything, you just have to put in place the way I'm doing it for you, right? So let me just grab all the photos and add them all together. Cool. I believe that I have added all the photos there. I want to quickly grab all the names, all right, and add it. Okay, these names are just, are not real. Either these are stock photos. So uh, please don't, think about whether there's a name on that and the internet or not. So these are just random names. So yeah, let's proceed forward and complete Dan as well. So yeah, now you just proceed forward and make it basically have everything else, right? So yeah, basically we have everything that we're required to do. Uh, okay, awesome. So we got this done. Now we want this contact section. So we do not really have this contact us section with ourselves, right? But this contact us section we created on the home page. So instead of doing the everything again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on that save sign. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm going to click on the save sign, and then I'm going to say contact for one, and I want to save it as template, not a global template, but just a template. Once I'm able to save this, I'll proceed forward and save the entire thing, right? So once I have saved the entire thing, which is done here, I'm going to save here so that when I refresh the entire thing, refresh the builder basically. I want the builder to be updated with the change I recently made with this, because as I created a template, the template got registered with the builder. Now, once I refresh the builder, I will be able to find that template and basically just drag that template into my landing page, right? That's how I want to proceed forward. Cool, guys. I hope that you're finding these lessons valuable and these lessons are able to help you learn more about Go High Level. If you do, please make sure that you share this with someone who may need it, right? That's all. Um, cool. Now I want to have that template. So now I'm going to go to section templates. I'm going to have already saved called as contact pro one, as you can see at the bottom. Okay, I need to drag that, not click that. So I'm just going to drag that. Okay, now as you can see, the color was not saved, so this didn't came through. I want to grab that color too. So I just want to go to my color picker and I want to have that color for myself. Once I have that color, I'll proceed forward and fill up the entire bay. I got this. So I added the entire color, as you can see. So all the color which are non-existent are going to be changed. So now it's there. Here also. And same goes for the border. As you can see, all the colors have been shifted to else. Cool. So now we have this, ladies and gentlemen. We actually got done with the entire thing here. Literally completed everything here. Now we're going to proceed forward with the last section. The last section is very simple. It's about our offices. I'm going to showcase something like these where we have some spacing here. We have spacing on top. We don't have any spacing at bottom. And we have a lot of spacing here showcasing the office stuff and everything, at least on the desktop mode. And the way to do it is very simple, right? I'm going to click on this and create a new section, right? In this section, I'm going to add these texts again. So our offices, I want to grab these. Okay, I do not have a row. So it of course needs a row. Without that, you cannot add that text. Okay, now you want to center align. This was taken from the home page, which was mobile optimized. So this was also not a good fit in terms of visibility. As you can see, this is only on desktop mode. As if you go to advanced, it's only on desktop mode. I want to make it on mobile mode as well. And since this is white, I want to turn this into black too. Right, I want to make sure it's center aligned and then add my own text. Oh, sorry, I have not grabbed the text here, so I'll just grab the text. Cool. I don't need to add the head subhead line anymore, but what I want to do, what I want to show you is this part. How to do this part, okay? The best way to do this part is very simple. You need to use a two column row, okay? Not two column row, let's make it three column, okay? And the way to do it is very simple. You just duplicate the columns. Now I want to click on the entire section and then I want to make it allow to take the entire width. This will allow me the row to stretch to its corners. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire second row, right? Then I'm going to add that photo of the office. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want it to capture the background. And once it captures the background, I also want to make sure this is center aligned, full center, right? Perfect. Now I want the middle column, right, to have a color background as white. So First of all, let's understand what I'm doing. Okay. There is a background for the column, right? For the row, right? Entire row. On top of that row, there is a column. On top of that column, there will be images or text. So I'm adding a background image in the entire row, right? Which is at the base. This is actually not the base. The base is actually the section, right? So this is the second layer. I'm adding that image as a background on the second layer. Then I'm adding a color on the third layer, which is the column. And then I'll add text on the fourth layer, which is the text. Okay. I'll just show it to you as a live demonstration so that you will be able to understand better. Oops. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to create this slided kind of effect, right? And the way to do it is very simple. I just want to drag this and I want to make sure that the spacing here is 0. Awesome. I also want to make sure that the spacing here is, let's say, 80. Oops. Sorry, 80 here. Right. Perfect. I think I'm liking what I'm seeing. Now I want to have a border because as you can see here, there is no curve on the bottom, but there is actually curve on the top section, right? The way to do is very simple. You select the first column, you click on border, and then when you click on only on top border, then you make it 1 pixel. You make the color as white because we don't want any separation or any kind of other color. And we want to make it, let's say, 20 pixels. And then I only want to make this 20 pixel of border radius to be able to apply it only on the top only edge, which is going to make the changes only on the top edge, and it will keep the bottom edge simple without any kind of radius. That's what we want to achieve, right? And if you check this, that's exactly what we achieved. We got the radius here, but we have no radius at the bottom, so that it can seamlessly mix with the bottom, whether it's white, it's purple, it's whatever color that is. It's the footer section, whatever it is, right? We don't care about that. But what we care about, we achieved that. Now we want to add text, right? San Francisco. So that's going to be a text here. So I want to duplicate this, and then I'm going to add this here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on San Francisco, and then I'm going to make it left aligned. But I don't want to make it too much of left because I want to add like some kind of padding to it. I think 20 pixel of padding should be good enough. I also want to make sure that the text is not too big. So I want to use my uh, tool here, and that's going to be 36 pixels. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to comment in the description, comments in the comment section, and I'll be happy to help you out. Okay, cool. I believe we also need a section like this, which is going to be text. Let's add this, and let's also give it some color, which is going to be this grayish color. There needs to be some padding because all the other text have some padding. So let's go and get that. We want to make it not 18, we want to make it like 16, right? And then we also want to have this kind of a separation bar. The separation bar is basically is nothing but the divider. So we want to have that divider and make it, let's say, 90%. I think that is good enough. And then we want to have these kind of text which say email text, email address, phone number, and all of that jazz. So I want to, let's say, just add a subheading, and in that subheading I want to add these email addresses and all of that. As you can see, that there's an email which is got automatically got a link, and the link is blue. So I don't like that. I want to make it like light gray. So I just want to make sure that the link is there. I also want to make sure that this is not 20, of course not 20. I want to make it like 18. And then I also want to have some spacing as 20 on the left hand side, like all of the others. And then I also want to make it left aligned so that everything here, as you can see, is on one single line, which is what makes it look organized, guys. That's what you need to focus on, okay? Focus and attention on the detail is what is going to make your landing page and website look premium, and that's what I want for you, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I just want to uh, have some spacing on top with, let's say, 20 pixels. I also want this to have 20 pixels. I also want the header to have like uh 40 pixels. So I also want the bottom to have like 40 pixels. So literally want to have a lot of pixels here and there. I also want to make sure that this is not just 100. Let's make it 150, right? So I can see the office more, right? And this just becomes as one of the banners out there. Right. This is actually only on desktop, which is because I actually copied it from this section, which is only desktop section. We're going to go into the mobile mode just after this. So make sure you have enough popcorn in your hand because you're going to you need some more of it. So let's proceed forward and let's add the bottom section, which is nothing but the footer. So you also got this completed, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations on that. The way to create the bottom section is very simple. Again, we're going to follow the same thing, but this time we are not going to create it as a section template. Rather, we're going to select the entire bottom section, and then we're going to click on save. Just drag my thing out. Okay, I'm not able to save it. Okay, there's some issue. Let me just refresh the entire thing. That should actually remove the glitch. So basically that means is you're going to have that bottom section. That's it, right? You're basically copying it. Instead of making it as a template, you want to make it as a global section. As simple as that. Am I able to copy these sections? No, something is weird, wrong. Cool. Then this is working fine. Okay. So I think I already have it. Let me just click on this, click on a global section. Okay, I don't have it here. Let me just refresh it. Cool, guys. So what I had to do was I just had to refresh the entire thing, and now this is working. So anytime that you feel like it's not working for you, or there's some glitch, just refresh it, and that should solve the problem in most of the cases. So this is going to be Consulting Pro CP, and it's going to be footer, and we are going to save this as a global section. Okay, which means that if you change anything in the global section, it's going to be changed on the other parts as well where you implemented the same element. And when you change this to a global section, then it will change its color from green to this purple-ish color, okay, or this violetish color, whatever the color you want to call it as. Okay, then you want to save whatever changes you have made, and then you want to have and copy it on your current existing website or the landing page you're working on. Okay, so now we want to refresh the entire landing page because we want whatever changes we did, we want that to now also being added on the current builder, so that it doesn't have any issues. Cool. There's going to be one more video on this, which is going to be about the contact us page. So make sure that you also watch that because that's going to be super sleek, clean. And I'm also going to show you live how to create a form and embed this onto your website. Okay. So now I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to global section and there is no global section available. Okay. Let me just refresh this again. In that case, we should have it. Oh, guys, I believe there was some glitch or I just was not able to save that section properly, but I definitely got this footer in the global section. Now I'm simply just going to drag it here. And as you can see, we just got the exact footer which was present here in the home section, right? Or the home page basically. Okay. So that's how, ladies and gentlemen, you create the entire about us page for this kind of website. Let me just make sure that this is also this is also stick to the bottom, and the way to do it is very simple. There is some 20 pixels padding to it. Just want to make it 0. Okay, so cool. Now let's proceed forward and make it mobile mode as well. Cool, let's proceed to the mobile mode. You click on the mobile mode here. Let me make sure that I am on the left hand side here. Okay, now what you want to do here is you can see the 3 dots, they're very tiny. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the font text to 18, which will also make the these three hamburger menu is also going to be bigger. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is white, which is fine. Um, we also change color, which is fine, but these are not really in the same, uh, but these are all upper cases, so they are not upper cases. So I'm just going to proceed forward and make sure that they are home is uppercase, right? I want to submit that. I want to go to about section. I want to make sure that this is about. I want to submit that. I want to go to contact. I want to make sure this is also contact. Awesome. So we got that. Everything is done. By the way, we do not want this second column here. So we just want to make sure that this is not existent in the mobile mode. We also want to make sure that this text is going to be 32 and this is going to be mobile only, right? So that is there. Let's proceed forward and follow the same methodology that we used last time. So we're going to duplicate the first section here. We're basically going to duplicate most of this section and we're going to only make it desktop mode. And the other one, I'm only going to make it mobile mode. So I'm free to make any kind of changes. So let's proceed forward to the mobile mode. As you can see, there's a lot of spacing here. I do not want so much of space, of course. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, going to bring back and reduce all the space. So it's going to be 0, right? And it's going to be like our consulting firm. This is fine. This is fine. I just want the text to be on the top, right? But I want the button to be here. So I'm just playing with these up and down arrows, which gives me flexibility in order to jump from top and bottom. Right, so we're done with that, and now we're going to also change the how the cards look. So for this, I'm also going to duplicate the card section. I'm going to make one card section as complete only for desktop, and I'm going to make one for only for mobile. Right, I'm going to proceed forward to the mobile section. I'm going to select the first column. I think the first column is good to go. The second column, I'm going to add like 20 pixels of spacing. The same is going to be with the second or the last one, the last card. I'm going to be 20 pixels of spacing. Now you can see this is also pretty much organized. Now I'm going to proceed forward the next pages. Okay. Here I'm also planning to make it, duplicate it and make it only for desktop and only for mobile. So let's not delay that and do the same thing. So let's select the first section and make it desktop only. After that, you select the second section and you make it mobile only. You proceed to the mobile mode there. And here, whatever changes that you make will not be represented or changed on the desktop mode. So that's pretty nice. This is going to be 31 is fine, right? And I want to make sure that, this looks good. This is also like 28. I want to make it like 24. Okay, I need to make sure that they are aligned properly. This is 16, which is fine. This is the, I want to make it like 18. And I believe the CEO and the founder also looks good here. So there's no problem in there. Now comes this section where you have all these kind of columns, basically this one. And again, the best process is going to be duplicating this, going to advanced section, making it only desktop mode. And the second thing is going to be making it only mobile mode. So proceed forward and make it only in mobile mode. Let's proceed to the mobile section. Right, and we only need to make sure that we change all of this. Otherwise, it's not going to look good when you actually hold the phone and make changes with it. This is actually on the left, so I'm going to proceed forward and make it on the, sorry, it was on the right. I want to make it on the left, right? I also want to make sure that I have all, that there is enough spacing between all the cards and they should not look as if they're crashing on each other. So I have adequate spacing now, right? I'm going to proceed forward and make all the necessary changes or similar changes on the other cards too, which I am just doing in front of you. So now we have the entire section with, evenly spacing as well. So there's no issue anymore. Now what I want to do is I want to go to this meeting section where the team members are there. I want to duplicate this section as well. And then in this section also, I'm going to make it one as desktop and one as mobile only, right? This just gives me the liberty to make all the changes without impacting any of their respective modes, which is desktop or mobile. So I'm just going to make sure that this is also 32 as a heading. I think this is fine. This is also fine. I want to add some more spacing because there is not enough spacing. Okay, because I want to have spacing in there. Okay, or what I can do is I want to have less spacing in there. So I'm gonna make it 0. Right. So that's there. Also make this 0. Cool. Okay. Same goes for this. I want to make the bottom to not have any kind of spacing, and then the top as well to not have any kind of spacing. Okay. Same goes for this. Let's have some spacing in there, and let's make sure that these are taken care of without any kind of spacing requirements. Okay. Cool. I think we are all good to go here as well. Let's proceed forward and go to the next section. And the next section is all about this one, which is it's not get in touch. Come on. This is going to be our offices, right? This is going to be our offices. Make sure that this is our offices, right? Let's go to the mobile mode, our offices, right? Let's go to the heading and let's make it 32. I think this looks good. I think here also this looks good, but I definitely need to make it. I thought I need not to make it in the desktop and mobile, but I think I have to. The reason for this is because I want to make sure that I can enjoy my liberty with all the spaces without hampering any of the modes. Right. So I want to proceed forward and make it desktop and mobile respectively. I want to go to mobile mode. And then as you can see this entire thing here, I want to delete this. I also want to delete this. Now you can see this thing. Probably I just want to have some more adding to it. I think this is there. I want to have like 200 space. Okay, that's it. I think there is a bit of visibility about the office, but you can't do much here. You have some spacing on the left and right, which looks freaking amazing. I think the text is too big here, so I want to make it like 28. I also want to make sure that this is like 14. And the same goes for these texts also, like these should be all 14. Let me just select them and let me just make it 14 as well. Right. So I think they're all left aligned and 14. And this section, which is the footer section, we need not work on this because you already worked on this on the home page, which is the first video. And we made it mobile optimized on the second video, which is the mobile optimization video. So apart from that, I think everything is now perfectly mobile optimized. Let me preview the entire thing and see it in as a live link, and let's see what you have to say about this. Okay, let me preview this, and we'll of course we are going to make sure that this is also mobile optimized, which is going to be 110%. But let's see, let's make sure that that happens. Okay. Awesome. So this is what is going to be visual in terms of the desktop mode. And I believe we did a pretty amazing job comparing to the actual one, which is here, right? Pretty amazing job in there. This looks freaking amazing. As you can see, there is adequate spacing here. So that makes this text and this photo relatable to each other and separate from this entire thing. Even though there is no graphical or color wise separation, but still using space, wisely can actually help you separate from one element to the other. Okay. We also got this part as well. Amazing. Now let's proceed and let's make this mobile mode and see whether we're able to make sure that this is 100% mobile optimized or not. Okay. So currently we're using iPhone to a 14 Pro Max. I think this looks fantastic. When you click on this, you have home, you have about, you have services, you have contact, which is great. You can cross that. Okay. So this looks pretty nice. We have adequate spacing between the cards. They look also nice. This is also very well left aligned. Everything looks well structured. These cards also have proper alignment and they also looks pretty nice. Right. I also have the team members designed properly with adequate spacing in between them. So they also look nice. I also have this office section, and this, when sticking to the bottom, also looks very premium. And you have the footer section at the end of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just made the entire thing, the entire about section, and we also made it mobile optimized. I hope that you liked this tutorial, guys. If you have any requests and if you want me to make videos on any other funnel website, then please make sure that you comment and let me know your thoughts. If you're someone who wants to It wants to hire us for custom design projects. And if you have a considerable budget, then make sure that you can click here and book an appointment at pritamhadar.com, and we will be happy to have a chat and see whether we are a good fit or not. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it. I hope you liked it. See you soon on the last part of this video, which is going to be about the contact us page. I want to do a lot of things there. So make sure you watch it till the end. Thank you so much, and I'll see you then.